What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a big Lorcana update. You see, Into the Inkwell, or L'Éter Danse, I'm not good at pronouncing French, alright? We all know this by now. Is coming soon. I told you about it the other day. I told you we were missing a bunch of information, and we were missing a bunch of images, and we were. That was true, incidentally. Well, the good news is we now have a bunch of that information. We now have the images we were missing. The set has been put up for pre-order on some French sites, and that means that we can go and have a gander at everything we were missing. So let's have a gander, shall we? I want to show you the boost. Oh, also we know what stadiums do, or stage cards do. That's actually really important. We'll get to that in a minute. So I showed you the booster the other day, but just kind of as a, hey, here's a better look at it. The booster packs feature Jafar, Piglet, and Minnie. I kind of love that they're giving Minnie a booster pack. Minnie is getting a lot of love in Lorcana. Why? Don't really know. Somebody has decided that Minnie needs a lot of love, and given how cool the mini cards coming are, yeah. Absolutely love it. Huge fan. Hope this continues. This makes me happy. But we've also got the Illumineer's Trove. Now, I'll be honest with you, we expected what this was going to be. Because this is just like the Illumineer's Trove from the first chapter and Rise of the Floodborn. It's the same. It's literally the same. So it's going to come with 8 packs and all the usual stuff, right? It's going to be basically the same. But whereas the other day I told you I was pretty sure it was going to be the same, now I can actually confirm it is the same, and that's a pretty big deal. Speaking of predictions that I got right, let's pat myself on the back one more time, just for a minute, because we've got the gift set. And it is not like the gift set from Rise of the Floodborn, nor was it ever going to be. That was a special gift set that was very much a celebration of Disney 100. It had those 6 promos done by the Disney animators. It's a phenomenal set. But let's be perfectly honest here. This is always the way it was going to be. No, ladies and gentlemen, it was always going to be like the first chapter gift set. And now it's confirmed that it is like the first chapter gift set, which is wonderful. So here we got to look at it, and it's exactly what we would expect. You get 4 booster packs from the set. You get yourself 2 promos, jumbo versions of those promos, and then a couple other things that you can see the lore counter there for both Tinkerbell and Stitch. That's what those little circles are on the packaging. That is your lore counter. Now, one thing that is important to note, because we saw this for the first chapter gift set, it's not actually coming with exclusive promos. It's coming with exclusive jumbo cards or oversized cards, or phrase it how you will. I thought that the cards in the first chapter gift set were going to be exclusive because looking at other card games, when they do products like this, that is the standard. So that's what I was basing it on. It was a fair prediction to make at the time. It proved to be very much not true because we have since found out that actually they are just regular cards from the set. Ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill cards from the set. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're hollow versions of them, which is a nice little bonus, but that's basically it, alright? Regular cards, but made foil. But then again, remember, the foil versions can come from packs. This is honestly fine and as you should probably expect. And that's what we're going to have here. These are going to be the regular versions of the cards, but they're going to be hollow. So I suppose they're going to be the hollow versions of the regular cards, if you want to phrase it that way. And then you're going to have jumbo versions of it. And honestly, yeah, I'm kind of alright with this. That seems alright by me. I know some people were disappointed they weren't exclusive. For some people, that's going to mean this isn't worth buying. And that is absolutely fair. You can make your own decision. The jumbos are exclusive, however. And remember that the binders that the official portfolios we get do actually have extra room in them for jumbos, so that's honestly kind of cool. We've got a good look at the deck boxes featuring Scrooge McDuck and Robin Hood, and yeah, they're kind of cool. I mean, it's clearly going to be artwork from one of the cards, so yeah, there's that, and that's kind of lovely. And obviously, we are going to see the sleeves are going to have the exact same artwork. That is to be expected. That's the way it always is with Lorcana at this stage. So yay, I have very little else to add. What I do want to add, however, is a word about these playmats. Now, look, I'll start with a Stitch playmat. The Stitch playmat is fine. It's okay. It's a cool little playmat. It's not my favourite playmat ever. It's a cool little playmat. But the Moana playmat, I have watched a lot of Moana with my kids. And this isn't just a Moana playmat. Honestly, if it was just a Moana playmat, this would still make me want to buy it because it looks really cool. It is such a lovely Moana playmat. And that's why I love it so much. It's just absolutely stunning. Now, I've had a clear choice of playmats every set so far. For me, the Maui was the clear choice in the first chapter. Again, largely because of all the Moana I've watched with my kids. And for Rise of the Floodborn, obviously it was Winnie the Pooh Honey Wizard. Like, that really should not have been much of a choice for many people. The Beast one was cool, but come on, Honey Wizard. Here, I think the Stitch playmat is cool. I'm taking nothing away from the Stitch playmat. But, ladies and gentlemen, it isn't even close. It isn't even remotely close. I love this Moana playmat. And now I'm in an awkward situation because literally all 3 sets now, they've gone and released a playmat that I legitimately love. And it's just starting to get a bit like, well, how am I going to use all of these playmats? It's getting annoying. Boo, etc. Never mind. Nah, it's not a boo. It's a yay. Love these playmats. Gigantic fan. Now, we have had a good look at the starter decks, but again, there isn't really anything to add from what we saw the other day. Don't get me wrong, they're cool, but I kind of told you what you needed to know about these the other day. We've got the starter decks coming, and we've got 101 Dalmatians and Peter Pan, and then we've got Moana and DuckTales. Although, the one thing I will add very quickly, come on, if it's a choice between Moana and DuckTales, 101 Dalmatians and Peter Pan, I mean, is anyone struggling with that decision? The answer, of course, is yes, but not me. Oh, no. Very easy choice for me. Love Moana. DuckTales. I mean, look, if you played the NES DuckTales game, just drop it down in the comment section, would ya? Tell me I'm not alone in my love for this old game. So, those are the Into the Inkworld products we needed to talk about. What about stage cards? Well, the good news is we now have all the information. There was a discussion from the designers over on the official Discord the other day that told us everything we need to know. So the only one we've seen so far is Forbidden Mountain. It's pretty cool, honestly, but it doesn't really do anything. It's got a bunch of numbers on, but it doesn't actually do anything in and of itself. But of course, that wasn't such a huge issue because we saw some of the cards the other day. They showed us some of the cards that are going to be coming in the set, like, for instance, Minnie Mouse, Funky Spelunker, and when Minnie is at a location, she gets +2 strength. Also, check out the flavor text. She'll never cave under pressure. I appreciate a good dad joke. That makes me happy. So, we know that some characters interact with them, but we were missing a bunch of fairly important information about what it is that these things actually do, what those symbols mean, etc. Well, now we have them, and life is good. So, in terms of the symbols, we've obviously got a cost, and whether it's inkable or not, that was never really an issue here. Now, what we've got is, on the left, we've got the cost which you need to pay to move to the stage, or the location. They're officially called locations. Now, characters can only be at one location at a time, but you can move between locations, and you can have multiple locations in play. You can move to your own locations, but you cannot move to your opponent's locations. They are one-sided stages. That is very, very important. And you can move there when you're wet. Generally speaking, of course, you cannot quest when you're wet. You have to wait a turn. You cannot challenge when you're wet. You have to wait a turn. But you can move to a location while wet. If you're at a location and it's banished, more on that in a second, basically you fall off the location, but nothing else kind of happens. Nothing else bad. Just essentially you're no longer on the location. Simple as that. Weirdly, and I don't think it really matters, but you cannot just leave a location unless to move to another location. So once you've moved to a location, you are there until the location is either banished or you move to a different location of your own. Also, this should be pretty self-explanatory, but just to be clear, no, you do not exert when you move to a location. You move there, and then you can quest or challenge as normal. And you can have any number of characters at a single location. There's no limit in that regard. And then anything else, do they give protection, blah, blah, blah. It depends if it says on the location. Anything else is kind of said on there. Now, I did talk about banishing locations. Well, locations have a willpower. For Forbidden Mountain, it's 6. They can be challenged just like characters, and they can be banished just like characters. So what about the lore symbol there? Well, Forbidden Mountain gives you 1. And it does give you 1. At the beginning of your turn, you gain lore equal to all the lore counters on all of your locations. You do not need a character on the location. You do not need to do anything. You just gain the lore. Now, I will say I'm slightly worried here, and I'm sure we'll learn more as the set goes on, okay? But if you can play a bunch of locations and then start farming lore without actually doing anything, this could start speeding up the games quite a bit. We're going to have to wait. We are very much lacking in a lot of information about all of this set, but that is something I've got my eye on, so please do bear that in mind. That is pretty important. Oh, and I don't know how important this is to you, but they're all going to be horizontal, not vertical. They're all going to be landscape, not portrait. It makes sense with their locations. You can show them off a bit better, and you also set them apart from other types of cards. The last thing that we need to mention here, and this is actually quite important, characters don't affect locations unless they specifically say so. So take Rapunzel as an example. Rapunzel says, when you play this character, remove up to 3 damage from one of your characters, draw a card for each 1 damage removed this way. No, this was a specific example they gave. No, Rapunzel doesn't heal locations. She heals characters. Cards that affect locations will say they affect locations, but if it doesn't say that, then it doesn't work. Good? Good. So there we go. Big product update, big update about this and all the locations and all of that. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me anything you want to tell me. Tell me how hyped you are for this set. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Lorcana and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.